how did William swim on the women's team, or on the men's team rather? Was he a good swimmer, a bad swimmer, an okay swimmer? What was his record like?
Yes. So something to keep in mind is Ivy League swimming is not known for producing Olympians and NCAA champions. Of course, it does happen occasionally. There's always an exception to the rule. But that being said, for the most part, we're not producing NCAA champions. That is mostly the SEC schools. That's, Stanford, those big sports schools. The Ivy League is not known for any of its athletics whatsoever. So I just want to make that clear. So within the Ivy League, Thomas was actually a good male swimmer. He placed second in Ivies in his events, but he never qualified for the NCAA championship. That is, again, the highest level competition in college swimming. It's an honor to qualify for the meet. It's very hard. Only top 35 roughly in each event get to go, of hundreds and thousands of college swimmers. And so he never qualified for the NCAA championship as a man. To put that into perspective, when he switches over to the women's team, he breaks every record in every event that he swims on our team. He went on to break Ivy League records. He went on to win best women's swimmer in the Ivy League at the end of the season. And also, he won an event at the NCAA championship. So he went from never having qualified for the meet at all on the men's side to winning an event outright. That is a huge gap. That's a very big difference to, again, go from having not qualified for the meet to winning an event is unheard of. And so that, I think, really shows the perspective of, yes, he was okay comparatively in the Ivy League, but he was really just became the best of the best. The athletes that he beat at the NCAA championship and the event that he won were Olympic medalists. Second, third, and fourth place have medals from the Olympics. And he beat them. So
and was
I don't know what else.
Was he like smashing school records on the women's team too?
He broke the record in every single event that he swam
for
our team.
Every single event? And
every
he just
event.
Took those accolades away from women on that went to.
Yeah, and he also won Ivy League Swimmer of the Meet. So at our conference championship, the Ivy League championship, right, the woman who scores the most points gets an award. And he was the female athlete that was chosen for that, although he's not even female. So, wow. I mean, again, and to say the honor of being a high point swimmer of the meet, it's a great honor. And again, that was robbed from another Ivy League athlete.
That's crazy.
So the young lady that you're seeing get interviewed, her name is Paula Scanlan. She is currently an advisor, Independent Women's Forum and Independent Women's Voice. She graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, where Lia Thomas swam at, where she was a member of the women's swim team. Inspired by fellow female athletes, Paula broke her silence in June 2023 on her experience as a teammate of Lia Thomas and the efforts of her college's administration and student body to silence her and suppress her right to free speech. So, this interview that I have got the first clip, there's a second clip that is longer, but it does some disturbing things. But here's the thing. Down below, I have a link to that interview. So if you want to see the full 30 minutes, believe me, it is worth watching. It is very disturbing on so many levels. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking about the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
After it became a reality, after COVID, after the gap year, all that, what was it like sort of behind the scenes, not during competitions? Like, was Lia Thomas changing in the locker rooms with you guys on an all-girls team?
Yes. And so originally when, so after this first meeting, right, there was a lot of people. So everyone was clapping in the room publicly, but privately, a bunch of girls, we'd have one-on-one meetings with each other. We would talk to our coaches, all of that, and talk about how uncomfortable we were with it. And so originally we were actually told that Thomas was going to be changing in the single stall family locker room outside our locker room. That is originally what we were told was going to happen. But 2 years later, when it eventually became a reality, I remember I was looking at the locker chart. We had a new assistant coach, and he like reassigned everyone's lockers. And I looked down and I saw that Thomas had a locker like everyone else. And at this point, I said, okay, so he's going to be in our locker room, and there's nothing we can do about it. And I actually had a teammate. So I was super fortunate. Our locker room is sort of shaped like an L, and I was at one end and he was at the other. So I was as far away from him as I could have been. But one of my close friends actually wasn't. And she had the locker right next to him. And she went to her coach. No, yeah. And she went to her coach and said, this is a joke, right? There's no way you expect me to undress next to this man. And our coach was just like, I'm sorry, my hands are tied.
And you guys undress out in the open, right? Like, it's not like you hop in a stall. Yeah. And you guys,
I mean, and also swimming is one of the sports where you are very exposed changing in and out of your suit. Like, it's not like other sports where you're not like soaking wet, right?
Yeah.
But we were changing 18 times a week in the locker room. We have 9 practices a week. You have to change into your suit before practice and change out. That's 18 times you're changing, and that's every week. That's not that, like, you know, every single week for the entire year. And so one of that same teammate, my friend who had the locker next to him, she changed out in that family locker room we were originally told he was supposed to change in. And she did it every single practice, and everyone knew what she was doing. She would grab her stuff, walk out to the hallway, tiptoe back in. Everyone knew what she was doing. It was just one of those situations where, again, and if people who tried to raise concerns about it, we were called names. We were told we were transphobic. We were told we were homophobic. It was every single aspect of it was just, if you brought up any concerns, you were immediately shut down. You were immediately called names. It was crazy.
And I mean, like, swimming athletes, you guys are wearing bathing suits just like everyone else. There's nothing under them, right? Like, it's not like you've got like a sports bra and underwear under them. Like, you get fully undressed in front of this man in your locker room, and he does the same in front of you guys, right?
Yes. And I think the other thing is like racing suits. So practice suits are pretty easy to get in and out of, but racing suits, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, they take 20 minutes to change into.
Really? Wow.
Because they're this small, and I'm not even like, they are this tiny. Like, I remember when I first ordered my first racing suit, my mom told me that she thought it could fit an American Girl doll closer than it could to fitting me. And that's just like, hopefully you've seen those dolls, you know how big they are, but that is a lot of time you're exposed. And I know, like, even growing up swimming, it's people are helping you. Your friends are like, you know, digging their hands in your suit. You're accidentally flashing people because they're so hard to get the straps on. I mean, it's not a place where you're modest whatsoever. And I played other sports growing up. You're very exposed swimming. Like, the swimming locker room is probably one of the most exposing places you could be. And so I think that's what makes it so crazy. Is like this was a sports team where everyone is so open and changing and exposed and all this stuff, and they're just like, and you should do it with someone on the men's team now. It was just, I mean, I would never want anyone else to experience that. And honestly, even like during it, I suppressed a lot of my emotions and like really how disturbing it actually was.
Yeah. And so here's a question that I didn't actually have written down. Did you have any kind of indication of like what Lia Thomas's sexuality was? Was this person attracted to men or attracted to women? Like, because that's a whole nother sort of risk factor there. It's like if he likes women, and he
previously dated a member of the women's team.
Oh, that is really bad. Okay, and that didn't change to your knowledge when he joined the women's team.
They had broken up by the time he officially joined the team, right. And she had also graduated. I don't really want to like call him out, but sure. She had also graduated already. So, it just, yes, it was confirmed that he liked women because he was dating a woman.
Now, the rest of the interview talks about so many things that I just did not want to put in this video. It is something best to hear the full interview. But this should give you an idea of what these young women were going through at the University of Pennsylvania. And I'm not even giving you the clip where she talks about how they threatened her, how other Ivy League schools threatened their athletes. This is disturbing on so many levels, and it gets to the point where people need to know what's going on. Just really, if you get a chance, you should take a look at all of it. This is beyond disturbing that this was going on, not just at an Ivy League school, but that it was going on at any major university in the United States. This is the stupidity that this agenda did and is going to do if we don't make sure that we keep them from having that chance again. So, this has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.